Hi guys, welcome to Instagram Live. My name is Rod Stanley, owner of Ritual Health and Fitness, and you know the motto, move, inspire, and transform. We're all about getting people to move, inspiring people through our stories and the stories of my clients, as well as so that we can transform your life, and hopefully you can help someone inspire them to transform their life as well. Welcome back, Ann. Glad that you're here. So we're going to have a little bit of a different format today, a little bit of question and answer for you guys, and see how things are going with you as far as aging. So, we're all getting a little bit older every day, no matter what age you are. If you're 5, you're getting older by the second, by the minute, by the day. And we all want to age well, right? Hi, Joan. Welcome back. So, are we getting old or are we aging? So that's a great question. One of my clients mentioned to me today that her father was getting ready to turn 94 years old. And that's amazing, first of all, to make it to 94. And I think about it, I'm 44 years old. Before I go on, how old are you guys? Let's drop it in the messages right there. How old are you guys? So I'm getting ready to be 45 in a few days. I'm sorry, in a few months. And when I think about it, I have to go another 50 years with this body to make it to 94. And I think about it sometimes, like when I wake up in the morning, like, is that even possible? To get another 50 years out of this body after all the wear and tear I put on it. So Jones 81, awesome. Tyler 17, man, this is a great time to be talking about aging well at 17, right? To really get ahead of the game. I had the privilege when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, to work for an age management medicine clinic, and I worked with this gentleman right here. He came to me when he was 69 years old, wanting to be able to bench press 100-pound dumbbells. And I thought he was out of his mind, first of all. I think I was, about 27 at the time. Maybe close to 30, give or take. But I thought he was out of his mind. So, but needless to say, I took him on as a client, and we were able to do it at 70 100-pound dumbbells, right? So there's hope for us. Joan, we can get you up to the 100-pound dumbbells too, right? So I had the privilege of working with Dr. Life and helping put together this book, and then the second one where it's all about aging well. So I have a few questions for you guys in a little bit to see how you're doing as far as your aging process. Welcome, Kay Moore. So I'll give it a minute or so. Hopefully we get a few more people in. Ed says, go Joan. That's not really my idea for good goal. No, I hear you. It's all about aging gracefully, right? We have friends, family, loved ones that we want to be around for and be our very best. That's certainly what I hope to do as I continue to age, be around for my son, my grandkids, and not only be here, but be thriving, right? I want to be thriving as I get older. So that's what it's all about. So we'll give guys a few more minutes. I have quite a few questions here. And the reason why I mentioned the book, because I revisited the book. I haven't looked at it in probably about 10, 12 years. I mean, this book came out a long time ago. And one of the questionnaires was in there, had a good survey about aging, some of the signs and symptoms that you might be experiencing if you're getting older. And these questions might prompt you to go speak with your physician. Or if you know a family member who might be experiencing some of these things, go encourage them to talk to a physician or myself. As I mentioned, I've helped many people age well, and I continue to help my clients age well and feel better as they age. And we're defying the odds with exercise. And before I get into the questions, that's one of the great things about my job is teaching people how to exercise, because it's truly changing their lives, and like it's changed my life, right? So here we go. We'll get into it a little bit. I think these questions are pretty thought-provoking, and if you have any questions about some of the questions I'm asking, like why is that a sign or symptom of aging, I'll try to go into a little bit of detail. And if you want to drop your answers in the comments, these are true or false questions. Some of them will get a little bit personal, so feel free to skip those if you want. So we can get a little interactivity with the questions. What's going on, Stellar? Welcome. We're talking about aging well, how to age well. We're just getting ready to go through a few questions about the signs and symptoms of aging, and maybe to see if you may be experiencing some of them. One of them is, have you gained belly fat in the midsection? So if you've been gaining belly fat in the midsection, that is a sign of aging. As we get older, our body can start to store fat here. This is called central abdominal adiposity. And as we store fat here, it's going to be problematic, especially as we age, because the fat here can start to release hormones and other things that are metabolically active that can be problematic for our health. So that's sign number one. Are you storing belly fat? Number two, have you ever been told by a doctor or physician about bone loss? That's something that we don't talk about often, just in general conversations about our health, is what is the health of our bones, right? It's so important to think about the health of our bones because it provides the structure for our body. Super important for ladies, especially to start doing some weight training as you age, because that's going to help decrease things like osteoporosis and osteopenia, where you're starting to get that bone loss. So if you've ever been told that, that is definitely a sign to look out for. What about diabetes and insulin? Have you ever been told about that? Blood sugar control, as we start to age and we start to lose bone, we start to lose muscle, we're also going to be more likely at risk for things like diabetes and insulin, because it's going to affect your body's ability to utilize insulin and process the sugars that you eat. So even if you're continuing to do the same dietary habits, it can be problematic as we age because your body's just going to have less capacity to handle those type of things. Question number 4, are you as strong as you used to be? I get this one a lot. This is one of the major reasons that a lot of male clients come to me, because they want to restore that strength that they had when they were in their 20s and 30s. I certainly want to restore the strength I had in my 20s and 30s, back when I could bench press, close to 500 pounds. I'm nowhere near that now, but I think I'm doing pretty good for a 44-year-old. Ann said she had scoliosis and starting to lean forward when I walk and could get a hump. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, exercise is one of the major things that you can do to combat that. Scoliosis is definitely a tough one. It's a tough one. So doing anything you can to strengthen all the musculature around there will help. So what kind of things do you do for your scoliosis, Ann? Are you still in treatment or anything for that, if you feel like sharing? What about gaining 10 pounds over the last year? Another sign and symptom. Has the doctor ever mentioned anything about your LDL? So the LDL cholesterol, if you have that issue, it's going to, that is the bad cholesterol fat. That is what's going to lead to, the vascular diseases if that number is elevated. And that starts to creep up on us as we age, the LDL, the bad fats in the blood. What are some good exercises for osteopenia? Generally for osteopenia or osteoporosis, the things that you can do, weight training, weight-bearing exercises, are all going to be good. So the reason why they're going to be good, whenever you're doing something that's causing your muscle, let's say a bicep curl, for example, the muscle here is attached to the joints by the tendons, and the ligaments all attached to each other. So anytime you stress that muscle, it's pulling on the bones and joints. So that's going to cause more stress, and it's going to trigger what do you call it, osteoblasts, or the things that's inside the bones. It's going to trigger those to start to produce more and more bone. So weight-bearing exercise is super important for osteopenia. No treatment, lots of stretching. Yeah, stretching helps, keeps everything more mobile for sure. So resistance training is by far the best type of exercise for osteopenia. Sounds like you're in the early stages of bone loss, so definitely want to get going on that. Vitamin D, calcium, magnesium are also great for improving that bone health as well. Let's see, Stella, you want to live? Yeah, this feature here, I don't even know about it. It's whenever I hit accept to accept someone in, it's always a little bit of a delay. I'll keep trying to let you in, Stella. If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. I don't know why Instagram is weird like that. I'm getting ready to switch over using StreamYard, which will allow me to be able to interact and bring people on. I think that'll be a better platform than just going Instagram Live, but we'll see. The skin is sagging. So if your skin is starting to get a little bit saggy, that could also be a sign of aging as well. One of the things that we would do when we would run calls on as an EMT was check what we call skin turgor. So like you can pull your skin here and see how fast it falls down. As you can see, the elasticity is really good here. It falls really quick. But if you're starting to lose that elasticity in the skin or you're dehydrated, it'll stay up a little bit longer or fall slower. So that's also a sign to look out for, is the quality of your skin. And also having trouble with concentration, slow recall, and foggy thinking. As I mentioned with myself and Dr. Life, that was an age management medicine clinic. So one of the things that starts to decline when we get older is the hormones. And those hormones, as they decline, are going to have an effect on your concentration, your recall, and your ability to think clearly. So if you haven't had your hormones checked, I would certainly recommend it to make sure things are on the up and up. And sometimes hormone replacement therapy might be something that would be beneficial. So some other symptoms if you're experiencing. What about depression? Depression is huge right now. There's so many things going on with the environment, the economy, school, the election, inflation, and these things really affect everyone's mood. And as we get older, we have less capacity to deal with these things, particularly if the hormones are starting to decline, etc. What about lethargy in the morning, feeling tired, weak and tired, having poor sleep is also a sign of aging, not being able to accomplish much at work, and sexual arousal. This is also one that declines as we age, and you're more prone to irritability, mood swings, lack of stamina, and slow recovery from exercise. But the good news is, like, there's so many of these different age-related signs and symptoms that we can experience, but exercise is, I wouldn't say it's a panacea, but it's related. It has a correlation with improving almost everything. And there was a study that came out in the New England Journal of Medicine, and it's been a long time since it came out, 2002. And it said that your exercise capacity is perhaps the most powerful predictor of your lifespan. So how many of you guys have heard of those blue zone diets, or those blue zones, or the centenarians, the people who live to be 100? There was a Netflix special, and I talked about it, it's been about 2 months ago, about a group of people who live in these blue zones who are living to be 100. The centenarians are people who are also living to be 100. And one of the things that they do is just get a lot of activity without going to the gym. So being really active is one of the major predictors of your lifespan. So we should definitely be exercising. So some of the things that exercise helps, and this is why I really love doing personal training and exercising and working with people, because it's one of the few things that we can say that's really having a major impact on people's quality of life and improving their lives as we age. So I'm going to run through this list really quick about some of the things that exercise can help. And this major diseases, right? Major diseases, arthritis. So many people suffer from arthritis. I personally have a little bit of arthritis in my knee. And if I don't exercise, it's going to be a lot worse. So a lot of times when people get these diagnoses of arthritis or different things, they stop moving. But that's the opposite of what you want to do. Exercise has been shown to improve rheumatoid and degenerative arthritis, or osteoarthritis. Cancer. Exercise has been proven to reduce risk of certain types of cancers. Cerebrovascular disease. This is stroke. This is a stroke, so this is a really big one. Exercise, of course, has been shown to restore function by improving the vascular performance and throughout the body. COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, improving the lung capacity. So this is something that's also important to think about when it comes to exercise. So we're not just talking about weight training, it's that cardiovascular training as well that's going to help improve the lung function, the vascular function, and allow you to get more blood flow and oxygen throughout every part of the body, which oxygen is life, right? Oxygen is something that we need in every cell. And if we are not moving, we're not getting oxygen to those parts of the body. and then we're not going to be able to utilize those parts of the body as well. How's it going, Danielle? So, Ann, you say you suffer from some arthritis, it looks like. Yeah, that's, I feel your pain on that one. Arthritis, I can't tell you how many clients I work with now and over the years who've struggled with some form of arthritis in their knee or hip or back, and that's super problematic. So, but we're able to restore quite a bit of function with just movement. Hi there, hi there. So we've been talking about combating aging with exercise. Exercise is certainly the panacea, in my opinion, when it comes to most exercises. So coronary artery disease, exercise has been shown to give massive improvements with that. Depression, we've all heard about those feel-good hormones, getting the endorphins flowing. So if you've been experiencing some of those signs and symptoms of depression and not feeling well throughout the day, that's definitely going to help. A big one is diabetes and glucose utilization by increasing the body's insulin sensitivity. With the SAD American diet, or the standard American diet, we have so many processed carbohydrates, so many things that are going to cause an impact on the blood sugar. And one thing about weight training is it's going to allow your body to utilize more of that sugar for multiple reasons. One of them, as your muscles get bigger, you're going to be able to store more glucose or more glycogen in the muscle. And it's also going to increase the sensitivity and the receptors to receive that insulin and glycogen to the muscles, which is going to allow you to have more stable blood sugars, less fluctuations in the blood sugar. And also, weight training just is the biggest form of energy that you use throughout weight training is sugar or glucose. So it's huge for decreasing your risk of diabetes. So if you're someone with diabetes or you know someone, really encourage them to get moving on exercise. These things are not a death sentence. I think I posted a testimony of a client of mine just last week who was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And once we get him on the right diet, as well as exercise and cardio, weight training and cardio program, we were able to reverse that by increasing the insulin sensitivity. So Danielle, I don't know, I want to pronounce it. I think it's Danielle. How are things going with your aging? How old are you, by the way? We had everyone drop in the comments earlier their age. I'm 44 years young. And what about you? And how are things going with your aging? So dyslipidemia. So this is when dyslipidemia is when the blood cholesterol is way off. 47, you're still young. You're a spring chicken, 47. Good. So, but never too early to start thinking about how to combat age and aging well, right? So dyslipidemia. So I mentioned earlier that one of the signs of aging is having the LDL start to increase. That's that low density lipoprotein. These fat cells are very low density and they can get clog the arteries. Also, triglycerides can be elevated, and these become elevated a lot of the times when excessive fats are in the blood. Also, excessive sugar can be converted into triglycerides in the blood. So another reason why having that correct, that low carbohydrate diet, lower processed carbohydrate diet, as well as exercise is going to help keep the triglycerides and the blood levels better. So hypertension can also be combated with exercise. Hypertension is elevated blood pressure. Joan says, I'm going to have to tend to my dogs. I'll be catching this on the recording. This is very interesting. Well, thanks, Joan. We'll see you next time. So hypertension is huge, right? So this is called peripheral vascular resistance. So a lot of times as we get older, the arteries, the veins, they become more stiff. And this creates more resistance throughout the body. So if you can imagine your heart kind of being a pump, and it's pumping blood and nutrients through the blood, through the veins, through the pipes. And as they get more stiff as we age, it's going to have a more difficult time getting those nutrients through. But one of the major things about exercise is you get this effect called vasodilation. This is when your veins and your arteries start to expand so that you can get more blood flow so that you can do more work. So, and when you start to exercise and you get the veins to start to expand more, which is improving the health of the lining of the arteries and everything, and the veins, it's going to help decrease your blood pressure, because now the blood vessels are able to expand more, which decreases the amount of pressure in the vascular system. So exercise is great for decreasing hypertension. Obesity. I mean, we already know that, most people, when they're wanting to lose weight, they go to exercise, because we know exercise is going to help us burn those calories. It's going to help us keep those blood sugar levels and help us get leaner. So cool. This is very interesting. So indeed, I'm trying to lose weight, coming off slow. Why? So tell me a little bit about what you're doing for your weight loss program. It could be a few different reasons. Age, which is going to affect your hormonal balance. And if your hormonal balance is off, it's definitely going to cause it to be more difficult to lose weight. Also, your ability to utilize calories and utilize blood sugar. So if you're someone who, what's up, Slugger Baseball? So let's say, for example, you're a little bit insulin resistant, you may be pre-diabetic, or you may be someone who just has a lot of carbohydrates in the diet. And the thing that happens when you have elevated blood sugar, or if you're insulin resistant or pre-diabetic, one of the reasons that makes it hard to lose fat is because when there's all that sugar in the blood, your body's not going to be able to tap into fat stores for energy. And that's what we're seeking the body to do when we want to lose weight, is get that body to tap into those fat stores for energy. But if your blood sugar level is really high consistently, there's no need for the body to start to use fat. So it's just going to use sugar. So people who are generally overweight or starting to see some insulin resistance, we call them sugar burners, because they're burning through all this excess glucose and their body's not able to utilize this glucose. And that could also be an issue for them losing weight. So this is why a low glycemic diet, which is a diet that's low in keeping the blood sugars lower, is going to be more effective for losing body fat. So that might be something to look at as well, Stella. Are your blood sugar levels well controlled when it comes to your diet, so that you could utilize the fat stores more readily and then start to lose weight? So I'd be more than happy to take a look at what's going on more specifically, and give you some guidance on how you can lose that as well, lose some weight. So, but it is a combination of diet, exercise, and hormones. We can't forget the importance of hormones in losing fat, because hormones are kind of the catalyst for anything that goes on with the body. Two more things. Osteoporosis. That's huge. I mentioned earlier how osteoporosis can be combated by exercise, just because it's causing stress on the joints and causing the body have to rebuild more bones to be able to handle those heavier loads from all the weights that you're lifting. So weight training or weight-bearing exercise is hugely important for combating osteoporosis. Sarcopenia. Now, sarcopenia is something that we once thought at one time was just going to happen no matter what. And sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss. If you don't exercise, if you don't experience some type of weight-bearing things as you continue to age, you will start to develop sarcopenia. And this is going to cause you to have less function, because as you start to lose muscle mass, you're going to be weaker, you're going to be less mobile, and you're going to be less likely to be able to do your daily activities of living. And when it comes to combating aging, you want to go into your older years with as much mobility, with as much strength and much flexibility as possible, because there is some age-related natural loss, but you can decrease the amount of loss as you age by continuing to exercise. So as I mentioned, went through about 10 different things that exercise really helps. And these are major things, right? So why are we still in a culture that, where we have so many people not exercising? And there's so many different reasons why. A lot of times it's because lack of education, not knowing what to do. And that could be, the paralysis by analysis, trying to figure out what it is to do that you can get going. And I always encourage someone to find something that you love, something that you enjoy about exercise, and let that fuel you to get more and more active. What do I think of that say you can lose weight without doing cardio and just doing weight training. You absolutely can. I mean, you can actually lose weight without doing any exercise at all. In fact, I was talking with a nurse practitioner yesterday who specializes in hormones, and she's currently prescribing a lot of her clients the weight loss meds, the semaglutides. You may have heard of these, like Ozempic, these type of drugs that can facilitate fat loss. And she tells me that a lot of her clients don't exercise, and they generally stop eating, and they're gonna lose weight, but the difference is you're gonna start to lose muscle mass if you're not doing weight training, you're just taking those types of drugs. But you can certainly lose weight with just doing weight training. However, you will miss out on some of the benefits that you can experience from improving your oxygen consumption, which is what you get from improving your VO2 max, or which is what you get from doing cardiovascular training. So you will miss out on some of those benefits, although there is some crossover from resistance training with the heart, because it does affect the heart. The heart has to pump blood throughout all the different peripheries of the body. But you certainly can lose weight without doing cardio. And at the end of the day, you want to just be challenging your body, finding modalities that you like. So if you really enjoy weight training and you don't want to do cardio, I mean, you don't have to do cardio, but there's certainly some benefits to doing it, right? Improving the heart health. There are some benefits of just doing that. So a well-rounded program always has a little bit of everything, right? So it's going to have some flexibility, balance, cardio, weight training, maybe some power training, maybe some speed training, no matter your age. No matter your age. In fact, I have a gentleman I'm working with now who's in his late 60s, and we're working on developing power and speed, because one of the things that's going to go as we age is your ability to react to things quickly. So say, for example, you're walking down the driveway and you slip. You're going to need to be able to have some quick reaction time to be able to break your fall. So it's important to work on all of these different things. And I would say always find a program that's going to allow you to work on all those different things. But you certainly don't have to do cardio to lose weight. But is losing weight just the goal, right? We're talking about aging well, living healthy for the long term, and weight sometimes is a byproduct of all those things. If you're doing the right things, you'll probably maintain a healthy body composition for a lifetime. So Danielle, I've definitely lost muscle mass from chronic illness and need to get on that. I have to start exercising again. It helps me detox so much. Absolutely, right? Exercise is huge for detox. That's another factor, right? Exercise does so many things. We don't often think about when we're losing body fat, right? We excrete some of it as waste, but we also expel a lot of it through breath. When we exhale, we're expiring toxins, we're expiring fat even through the breath. So if you're doing cardiovascular exercise, it's a form of detoxification for the lungs and the body system, and it's bringing in more and more oxygen into the body to reoxygenate the cells. So exercise is huge for so many things. What are your thoughts about rebounding exercise for people living in pain? Rebounding is fantastic. It's fantastic. It's going to help, give you some reactivity. It's great for building the muscles in the legs, a little bit of core strength, and all the bouncing up and down also helps with lymphatic drainage, which is another form of detoxifying the body as well. So if you can tolerate it, which most people can because it's, a really soft surface, I think rebounding is fantastic, and you should definitely incorporate it. And it's pretty fun, right? It's pretty fun. You can set that rebound up in front of the TV and just go at it. Have fun. So feel free to drop any more questions if you guys have them. So what's some of the hurdles for you for exercising, Danielle? You mentioned that you want to get started again. I got my notes that are going by so fast here. So what are some of the reasons that you want to get back in exercise, or what's some of the things that are prohibiting you from getting started? I know one of the major reasons that I hear is time. Time is a major reason. And you really don't have to dedicate a whole lot of time to just getting started. A lot of times, the exercise programs can be really robust, have, starting out with an hour workout 5, 6 times a week. And that could be an issue for someone who doesn't really like it or unsure how to get started. Just starting out small and then building the momentum. I don't think I don't know, how many people have I trained over the years? It's got to be close to 700 or so, really, between online and people I've worked with. I have yet to find someone who I work with who really gives it some time and explores exercise, who ends up saying they don't like it. Generally, it's people who don't exercise who've never really experienced it or experienced the great benefits that exercise can have for them, who say they don't like it, right? But is that even an excuse, though, like not to like it? I don't think so. I mean, you can make it. I always talk to my wife and I, we talk about exercising sometimes, and you know how when you're a kid, right, and maybe you had some vegetables on your plate and your mom and dad were trying to get you to eat them, and as a child, you don't see the benefit of eating these peas. Like this, I'm not eating. You're looking at it like, I don't want to eat this plate of green mushy peas, right? But your parents have the wisdom and they know that this is good for you, and you just have to grow up a little bit and get some maturity about what's going on, and then you realize, oh, okay, I saw the wisdom in that. My parents were trying to get me to eat the peas. And it's never was that the peas are going to taste any better. It's just your awareness and realization of, hey, I need to do this no matter what. And that's what exercise is, right? So it's never really an excuse that we don't like it, unless you're going to get used to liking some of these degenerative things that we mentioned earlier. And exercise combats all of those. It's been proven to help with cancer, osteoporosis. You guys know, I won't go back through the list, but it's just huge. It's almost a panacea for everything. Just walking and building from there, that's what I did. There you go, Ann. It just starts, right? It becomes something you look forward to. And if you exercise, I would say if you give it a good 30 to 60 days of consistent exercise, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and you really give it a valiant effort, you're going to find your body's going to want that. Your body's going to tell you, hey, I need to exercise. And you'll find that, hey, I get a little bit stiff if I don't. When I was in my 20s, man, when Rodzilla first hit the map, I only exercised just for aesthetics. I wanted a bigger chest, I wanted bigger arms, I wanted bigger back, and to look good. But nowadays, if I don't exercise, I can really feel my body craving that movement, right? So it's just wanting it. So it's exercise now, I do it to feel better. And that's what it's really about, right? Most of us have something going on that we want to feel better about, whether it's feeling better about how we look, whether it's feeling better about how we move, whether it's feeling better about the particular sport we're playing. And exercise can give you all those benefits. So I'm glad to be in this industry, and that's why I continue to do it all these years. So Danielle says, I just have to make time for myself. Went through a lot of family crisis and illness. I just have to exercise. It helps clear my mind and feel so much better. It's essential to help with my Lyme disease. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it definitely can help you get through those hard times. I know whenever I'm stressed out, I just start doing some yoga or lifting the heavier weights harder. It can get those feel-good hormones to help to get you through those tough times. So I hope you can find, the time to get going again. And if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know, Danielle. Put on the earphones, good music, and you're off. What do you listen to, Ann? What do you listen to for your music? Yeah, I feel like the difference is I get older. Is at the end of a long day, I need movement to help me feel centered, for sure. I know. I have a client of mine. She has a really stressful job, and at night it's hard for her to turn off her mind. So she tells me, she gets out of bed, she does about 15 to 20 push-ups, and for some reason that tires her out, and then she's able to fall asleep. So I guess exercise can be like a dose of melatonin too. So it really can combat and help with so many different things. Oh yeah, no problem, Danielle. Here to help. So here to help. So that's kind of it, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. So if those questions that we asked earlier, if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, lethargy, loss of muscle, LDLs, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help coach you along and get your fitness journey started. Or if you'd like to speak with a physician about those things, because they can speak to many underlying issues that could be going on, whether it's hormonal, whether it's muscle loss, poor lung function, poor vascular function as well. So if you're not getting the oxygen and nutrients to your body, those could be early signs and symptoms. So really pay attention to how you're feeling throughout the day as well. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Before I go, I just want to tell you guys about my 7-day trial to the app if you'd like to join. It's a free 7-day trial. And it'll just show you how things are working in the app. And if you're interested in personal training, I'd be more than happy to customize a program just for you. And thank you for all the help and answer your question. Oh, yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Feel free to throw some questions in the chat if you guys have topics you'd like me to discuss as well. I love really answering the questions and spreading the love and knowledge of things that have helped me and helped my clients over the years. And that's what it's all about, paying it forward in that way. So lastly is my Mind Body Connected program. I haven't really talked about it in a while. What's going on, Philly girl? She's ready to be ready midsummer. All right, well, let's get you going. Philly girl, a former client of mine back from Las Vegas. Good to see you. Yeah, we trained her and her husband. It was really fun. It's been, I think it's been 7-8 years now. 7-8 years now. Good to see you. But last but not least, if you're having some of these issues, particularly with arthritis, you lack of mobility, I created my Mind Body Connected program. As I mentioned, I'm 44 years old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I like to think I get around pretty well. But I've sustained some injuries, after being in the Marine Corps for 4 years, really beating up my body there. And then as a bodybuilder, I've been lifting weights and lifting heavy weights for the last over two decades. So as you can imagine, it puts wear and tear on your body, not to mention different injuries like ankle sprains, knee sprains, those type of things. So with my Mind Body Connected program, I created that because it's just really a program that's going to help wake up all the joints, starting with the feet, all the way up to the ankle, the hip, the knee, shoulder, etc. And it's getting you reacquainted with the body. I can't tell you how many people I've come across over the last year or so who are feeling like they're kind of out of touch with their body, out of sync with their body, and just want to get things moving again in a more proper fashion. So that workout is created just to help people get started on the right way. And it's a little bit different from what you would expect. It's a 5-day workout program, but day 1 is just kind of working on the feet and the ankle. Day 2, hip and knee, then the shoulder, and it's working on each parts of the kinetic chain so that you can facilitate better movement. So if you're interested in that program, feel free to send me a message, and I'll be able to talk to you and explain more to you about that program. Or if you know someone who's just experiencing having lack of mobility, that's really just tough thing to deal with when your body's not feeling well. I didn't really, as I mentioned, I started with the age management medicine clinic in my early 20s, and the majority of our patients at the time were in their 50s, 60s, 70s. And as a 20-year-old, everything feels great. You don't really, you get the concept of stretching, you get the concept of taking care of your body, but you haven't really experienced it. So at 44, I've experienced a lot more of that. So I'm able to speak about these things with a little bit more wisdom than I was able to in my 20s, especially dealing with people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So, so I just created that program for people just like you who might be experiencing just those very things. So that is all, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the talk today. It was all about combating aging with exercise. Those questions about how your body feels, what things you're experiencing, as well as we went over the different ways that exercise can help you age better, from everything from arthritis to reducing your risk of cancer, reducing your risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, cerebrovascular disease, so decreasing your risk for stroke, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, improving your lung function. Exercise is really the panacea for everything, in my opinion, and that's why I stay so excited and pumped up about helping people each day feel better and move better, because it really does change lives. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you guys back next week at 3 p.m. If you guys have different topics you'd like to discuss, again, feel free to throw it in the comment section, and I'll get to those as the weeks go by. So thanks again for joining. It was fantastic. Of course, Ann, great to see you as always. Danielle, thanks for being here and asking some really great questions. And I hope to see you guys back next week. Have an awesome week. Take care.